Aloha, this is Matt Darnell with ComTel.Cloud, like up in the sky cloud. Today we're going to be doing three things. One, we're going to be unboxing a Unifi 24 port, one of their pro switches with their, what do they call it? The Etherlighting has in it. I've had this for about 4 or 5 months just sitting on the shelf. Figured now it's time to go ahead and unwrap it. I paid for this. I paid for everything on this, so you'll certainly be getting my honest opinion. We're also going to be doing a real-time install of Unifi on a Windows computer here, so we can integrate this. And then I have a couple other devices that we're going to hook into this, from their new small little 2.5 gigabit 5-port switches to an access point, and just kind of see what this ether lighting is about. Yeah, so it's a 24 port. It has 8 2.5 gig. I'm assuming that they're going to be the ones over here that are PoE++. 16 ports are gigabit Ethernet, and the first 8 are just PoE+. Then we're going to have 8 PoE, gigabit PoE++, and again, these are going to be the 2.5 gig plus, and these are 10 gig SFP ports. So we're gonna be using those a little bit later as well. So the SFP plus. So let's go ahead and switch here. And so here it is right here. Yeah, the ether lighting. So again, I've seen that on videos, but I've never seen it myself. So we'll see see what that looks like. And so let's take a look at that. $800, is the cost, and that was what it was when I bought it. So first thing we're going to do is let's start the install here on the Windows here. Willie Howe just did I think he called it a speed run up on a cloud service. It was Vultr or DigitalOcean, one of the standards, and they're kind of all the same once you get to that point here. So let's go ahead. We just downloaded the Unifi installer. Let's go ahead and go through that process. You can see how simple that is. I've never installed it here on this laptop before. So let's get going here. And while that's installing, let's go ahead and actually start this unboxing here. So we've got, where's our pull here tab? So we got a pull here tab. And then open it up. We've got a little box here. If I switch back to the laptop here, well, already installed, start the server now. So that was pretty quick. I mean, from the time I said download to install, that was, was that even a minute? So let's take a look in here. I imagine these are Rails. These are probably things for a yeah. So these are rack nuts, and these would be if I wanted to go ahead and maybe this would be a little bit if I wanted to go ahead, their feet that I would put, so it won't scrape up my cabinet. And then these, I'm sure these are the screws for the rack ears, which are right here. And this cable, I do like when they have the recessed cable like that. It doesn't just plug. Let me give you a little contrast. It doesn't just plug right in. iMacs come with cable like this, so it's a flat surface to the outside. It's got a fabric on the outside. So these are probably just rack ears, and this is some manual there. So don't need any of these for what we'll be doing today. So we can put this on the side. And if we pull this out here, we can do it this way. Put that to the side. And they always do have on the box, they've got the QR code. Where is it? You can scan. It's a QR code somewhere on there. A QR code where you can not a QR code. It's just there it is right there. The installation guide. Let me show you that. It's right here on the thing where you get there and you can scan that QR code. So go ahead and do this here. So this has, I imagine, their redundant DC power supply. We're looking this up here, and take this out. So on this side, I've got that. There it goes. I'll get that later. you know, it has that proprietary connection there. And this one, it's for power, our power connection. Oh, it has a little, oh, so so this little, show you that there. This little switch right there is lock. So unlocked and locked there. So that keeps the kind of a, okay, so that is another use for that special power cord that we were looking at there. So let me go ahead and pop that off. Okay, so it's just another little cap. So I'd imagine we're going to try a standard cable. I'm imagine it's not a, oh, but you can see, oh, yeah, you can see here that the little piece of metal goes in there when you put that in there to kind of stop it from coming out. And then on the front, you know, we've got I'm sure it goes from gigabit 1 is a gigabit, gigabit PoE plus, the middle there's a gigabit plus plus, and then these over here are going to be the 2.5 gigabit, and then we have our two SFP plus plus or SFP plus ports there, and then we have our little LCD right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this here. Let me maybe this here might be good, and if I do it like this, I'm hoping you're going to be able to see all of the light show. So, you know, just for fun, you know, let me get our power cable here, excuse me. Who's in charge of pre-staging all this stuff? Now let's go ahead and use the cord that came with it. I'm using the box here. Let's get that out and put this back. We can test the locking feature. See how much pressure I can put on there before something happens. So let's, our 36 port power strip here. If you don't have one of these, you need one. 36 ports. Only 15 amps, but it is 36 ports. So let me plug this in here. And so this is first boot. So we kind of get that dancing around. That's kind of, I'm assuming that we'll be able to do different things with different colors, you know, so that, you know, I can see where are my access points, because I have an access point and a couple other Unifi switches here. We'll try to onboard and see what we can turn on and off in Unifi. But here I have the power switch, the power cord, and it's so if I unlock it, comes right out. Come in there, I lock it, and it won't come out. I mean, it's gonna break before it comes out. And I'm pulling on the cable. There's a kind of a little plastic part here, and I'm pulling on the cable part. We'll see if it's still working after all that. That's still working after all that, which is a good sign. All right, so let's go ahead and set this back up. Someplace it's going to stay. Let me get a patch cable. Just plug it in anywhere. It doesn't matter. We'll have this gigabit PoE plus port be the one there. If I go back to the computer, I'm going to have to set up Unifi the very first time. So we'll give it a name and we'll call it Test Lab. And I will agree. We'll do, so you can set up a Unifi account. It does let you log into, you know, your UI.com and then administer these things from the cloud. But for right now, I'm just going to go advanced setup and just do a local access. Here we will do ComTel.Lab. And we will put a password in there. And I don't, oh, it's going to force me to do an email. So we will do mdarnell@ComTel.Cloud, like up in the sky, cloud. go ahead and finish there. And here we go. So it's literally says all systems operational. So, you know, this just has a DHCP address here on there. But if I look at my unified devices, so it's already seeing the switch that I'm uplinked to there. So we're not going to adopt that one quite yet. But let's take a look. Oh, so this is, what is it saying? It's saying, what's it saying? It's saying, yeah, sorry, I can't get that in focus. It is estimated time remaining 1 minute. So I'm not sure what it's doing, if it's reaching out to the cloud, trying to do firmware, or what have you. What's the best way? I'm worried about this. If I put it up on an angle, I don't want to really tweak this cord that way. So I'm trying to. I'm always thinking about you folks. So let's go ahead and do that. So. Okay, so I can tell by the icon changing that's the default icon. So we're probably booted up, and if I look here, it's already popped up there, my Pro Max. So I can tell the IP address it has, 201.105. Let me go ahead and adopt this. And then it's going to let me know the firmware it's using and everything there. So it's connecting. Let me go ahead, let me adopt this one as well so we can see what we have adopting. Other things I want to adopt is, you know, this is the switch flex, the 2.5 gigabit one. So I don't know, I'm assuming we can run this through PoE. We don't even need to plug this one in, so we'll see about that. And then I have one of the small access points. I doubt this has a gigabit or 2.5 gigabit port in it. It's a U6 plus. So we'll go ahead and plug that in there. Just see what we can do with these ports. Right now it is just adopting these. So I will go ahead and stop now and come right back after it's done adopting the two switches here. Okay, it's been about good 10 minutes since we stopped last time. And, you know, this switch is, this one here is uplinked to the US, the PoE switch there. So both had to be updated. And so, you know, it did one and then did the other and disconnected me from everything. This is Ikaika. This is our shop, our junior engineer here. We have. All right, so let me go ahead and let's see what can we do with these ports here. So if I go to this one here, so we got all the normal kind of colors. I don't know if we could say, okay, show me the ones that are, you know, trunked, that are on VLAN. So if I say no PoE, does that light anything up there? When I say show, no, it's just no, come on, junior engineer. It's not doing anything there. It's just for, I guess, the filtering here for all the ports that we have there. I really thought there'd be a way to show that and do that, but let's just go ahead and add some things, plug some things into here. Breathing mode, what is that? Well, the Etherlighting port show a breathing. That's kind of funny. I'm assuming that's in and out and kind of do that there. So Etherlighting. Okay, so orange should be gigabit. And you can change what color you want it to be for fast Ethernet, 100 meg, gigabit, and 10 gig. We'll have that. So this should be green now. This one here. Does it? There's no color on it. I wonder if there's something I have to do to activate the light for that. But let's go ahead and plug in this. So this is the 2.5, the switch flex 205, 2.5, 5-port switch. So let's go ahead and open this up here. See what we've got. Again, we have our little QR code you can scan for the Unifi software. But to open this up, got this nice little, very Apple-ish. All of their things are becoming. So I've got a power cord that does say PoE in on that right-hand port there. So we will go ahead and see if this comes with a patch cord, which I don't think they normally do. So let me pause here for a second and grab a patch cord. Be right back. I went ahead and first I want to try powering this with, skinny cable here. So we'll use one of the 2.5 gig plus ports there. And then let's run it to our switch here. Let's plug it in, see if we get a link light. Oh, we got some lights here. If we hop on back over to Unifi, it is probably gonna pop right up there in a second. Once it boots up, we'll be able to see it there. It's got a little light here. The status light is flashing, so it's booting up. But yeah, I'll run it for a while over the skinny cable. These don't draw a lot of amps. It says it doesn't have any amperage on there. Let me see if the power connection here has any output. My goodness, it does. Heck if I can read it. So I will go ahead. Take a picture of it and let you know what it says. Output 5 volts, 1 amp, so 5 watts. Watts is amps times volts. So here we go. So it's already popped up right here for there. So let's go ahead and adopt that. So we'll adopt this right here. And while we're doing that, we have another access point here that we will go ahead and all these things I paid for. I gotta tell you right now, I'm really underwhelmed on this ether lighting thing. I thought there'd be a lot more things. I'm wondering if you have to do things in the mobile app, but I'm not sure. So this is, these are just mounting hardware and that little dealy bob that you put in the hole to be able to take it off the wall. That little L thing, that goes right in there. And then that does the little fold there. So this is just PoE and yes, this is just gigabit here. Go ahead and I'm going to plug this into a 2.5 gig plus port just to kind of get a difference in color. And so this here should be going blue. Let me see if I can see that. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but it is. Oh, there you can see it there blinking there. So it's blinking. So this is going to boot up. Let's take a look here. So this is now, again, updating firmware estimated time 4 minutes. And once this access point comes up, it's going to go ahead and we'll be able to adopt that as well. So the Unifi software is nice that you have this option to do it local. I'm not sure if you read that, but like Cisco Go, it's their, I've always been on the impression it's Meraki Lite. That is gonna go away. I think within end of sale in a year and then end of life in like 2 years or something. I mean, look, fact check that yourself. Actually, let's go ahead and look right now. Cisco Go. And but it says the Go web portal will only be available until July 30th, 2027. Go mobile apps. I guess there's a mobile app that you'll be able to use. Um, but yeah, that the portal will be no more. So that's a great thing about the Unify is, of all the issues, all the problems, all the complaining people do, at least worst case scenario, you can go ahead and do this locally yourself. So let me go ahead and now I'm going to onboard this access point that we have here. You can see it's blue, and both so this 24 here is plugged into a Gen 1 Unifi switch, and the flex, this flex right here, that's this cable right here, is plugged into right here, the last port there. So you can trust me there, they are connected. And then, oh, okay, I do see a blue. I do see blue if I hide the light. So let's see. So there is a blue, and as I got this patch cord in particular, so that must be the heart breathing that they're talking about, that it kind of pulses like that. Okay, so that is there. Can I change that? So if I come back over here, I go to my settings, I would imagine, so 2.5 gigabits if I wanted to make it orange. It'll probably go from blue to orange here once it, you can see it doing blue. Apply those changes. I just applied the change now. So 2.5 gigabit should be orange. And I don't know how soon that's going to be there. So we're doing that based on the speed. Okay. So I guess, when you have a patch cord like this, I don't want to unplug it because this is, I think this access point here is up doing its firmware right now. So I don't want to go and unplug it. But now here we can see it's orange there. But without having a boot and having a translucent connector is a plus. This one here, my uplink, as soon as the access point goes offline, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. But the plug is translucent, and it has a built-in boot. This one is like a boot cover that covers. So okay, everything's online. So this is the uplink. If I look at this here, you can see the boot is built in. It's not as molded on there. If I plug it in, I really can't see any lights there. The one here going to the access point, I can see it's translucent again. Let me see if I can slide the boot back. So if I slide the boot back here, it's got the metal housing. So actually very fortuitous that I grabbed these. But the one here that is, you can see, it's the monoprice skinny cables here. You buy them on Amazon, a bunch of places. I can see if I plug it in here, it's going to go ahead and turn there. So that's definitely, I can kind of see a little, now that I took the boot back off of here, I can see some more of the LED colors there. But this one here is very hard to see. If I get really close and have it just at the right angle, I'm able to see, let's see if I get you so you can see it there. You can kind of see it there if you get at the right angle. But if this whole thing was full of patch cords like this, they're going to kind of block each other, and I don't know how well it'd work at all. And this one here with the metal housing on it, I think you're SOL if you have these. So if you're going to invest the money in a switch like this, I definitely think you're going to want to invest the money in this type of patch cables. And if you're not going to a patch cable and you're crimping your own RJ45s on there, I think you'll be okay. I would not put a boot on there because even this one here without the boot, I have a lot of trouble seeing anything right there. So definitely, get these translucent, the RJ45s without a boot, and then you'll have that there. So if I was to come here and let's go back over here, we'll go ahead and create a VLAN. Wi-Fi network. How do we? Oh, we got to have a Wi-Fi network. Wi-Fi network is going to be go home. Password. Would be good. So we'll add that Wi-Fi network. Okay, so if I go back here into create a new network, that's I'm in Wi-Fi. Am I in Wi-Fi? Go ahead and maximize this. Get a little bit more networks. That's a little bit better. That's what I was missing. I'm going to create a virtual, and we were going to call this color test. Color test 1. And what third-party gateway VLAN ID, we'll say 101. We'll add that. And then let's add another network here. Color test 2 and VLAN 102. Okay. So we have those. Okay, so if I come here, and now if I go to my switch here, let me kind of move this over so you can see there. And I go to settings. Oh, wrong one. I want to go to this one here. I go to my settings, and I go by network. So I've got blue for default, purple, and let's make that a little bit different. Let's have green for color test 1 and red for that one there. And so we'll apply those changes. And let me go ahead and go to the port manager. And let's say port 23 is going to be default will be VLAN 101, and port 22 will default to our native there. So we've got different interesting. So it does show here the color that should be coming out of the port there. Okay, so again, my port, so here if I have deselect all, so I did port 23 was okay. So if I come here to so you are in port 23, let's move this guy over here. And if I move this port 23, that should be down here. This should be VLAN 101, and we had set VLAN 101 for a particular color as it boots up. And let's see what that was. .101 should be green. So this here, once this switch here boots up, and it is not booting up. Okay, so we've got blue here and blue there, which is fine for gigabit. Actually, this is a great angle. You can see there with the metal, casing there. Without the boot, you can see that there. So I put this. If I slide this boot back, let's see what the color looks like. Much you can see. Yeah, nada. From my angle, looking straight at it, I can see the blue. As soon as I, take this boot off, then yeah, you'll be able to see that color again. And then you can kind of see it coming, right on the side there. What happened to our port here? Let's troubleshoot this a little bit because I'm not getting any power at all on my port 23. So let's take a look. What can we learn? So if I go to, because we can see here that flex is offline. So let me go to my port manager, port 23. So it's active, VLAN, PoE got turned off. Let me go ahead and turn on PoE back on. That's interesting. I'll have to look and see how that change was. So if I come back to here, we should be able to see this start to blink as soon as that change gets pushed up to the switch, and I'll see it. We'll see active light here. So port 23 should now have PoE. So we'll wait for that to go. I just saw it just turned the green color which is the color of our VLAN 1, which is what we programmed that to. So I'm curious now, if I go to port 22, is power going to be, yeah, oh, see, power's on here on port 22. I'm not sure why. Let me deselect that. Just look at port 22. It's on. I'm not sure why that was off there. So what I can do is I don't have to make any changes there. I just plug this here. So it goes from green. If I plug it into port 22 there, it should be kind of an orange color. So I can see my lights here. So it's starting to boot up. And I'm assuming that you can change these settings in the little screen right there. You know, back in the day with switches, you know, there was a little button that you would press, and it might have 5 different modes for the lights. One might be speed. One would be if PoE is turned on and off. Another one might be half duplex versus full duplex, and you would just push the button to kind of cycle through them, and a little light would light up to let you know which one was corresponding to there. And so I'm gonna see if I can make that happen now. And we can see here, yeah, it did work. So when it's active, if you have the right patch cords, you know, that can be a useful feature. I would not want to have to go to the interface, you know, to make that change. So let me see if I could change that back to speed, because those are the two options: what speed is, or you could have it based on the network. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, and let me see what I can see. So, and have the augmented reality, yeah, but I don't see a way to change the mode that is on the switch from the screen there. Yeah, so that mode I'm talking about is I go to the max here, and I go to settings of this. So I want speed, or do I want network in this for this those lights? I was hoping I could find that there, and if there is a way to do that, I just don't see it. Please let me know down in the comments. And I normally would want to static this, and we're just doing this kind of quick and easy. But let me go ahead and let's go back into the port manager and rip out these, get them back on the default network so that we can have our other switch come online. So and we have, I look at 22, it's got power on. 23 has got power on. I'm not sure if it's going to reboot the device or if this is going to get an IP address when I change the VLAN back. So I can just unplug it. If I plug it into another port, does it really mean only that one port? And it looks like it does. It's not a joke when it says that's the PoE in. And that's such a nice feature of these little switches, because you have to have an uplink port anyway. And, you know, I'm sure, and if you're plugged into another PoE port on the other end, you know, we don't need to do any power in this. It looks like it's just a USB-C power there, but, you know, I don't need to split it out or do anything funky. So I've got my little light blinking right here. So in a second here, this is going to go ahead and pop online and show me that it is online. But after using the switch with the Etherlighting, I'm really not that impressed with the Etherlighting. I don't think it's that great of an advantage. The switch itself, though, I think lines up very well with the rest of the Unifi line in its range. If we take a look at that, so here's the Pro Max, the switch that we were looking at. What's great about it, it's got the 8 2.5 gig ports, and they have PoE++. Plus there's an additional 8 gigabit PoE++ ports, and we have the 210 gig SFP+ ports with and there's PoE+ on the other 8 ports. So that's really nice. with that. One thing it compares against is this is the same switch. You'll notice it doesn't have any 2.5 gig ports. Does have PoE++ ports, but it just has 8 plus plus ports. And as whereas the previous switch, we had 16 of them, and there's not the Etherlighting, which again I don't think that's a big loss. But so it's $100 less. You lose 2.5 gig ports, and you lose 8 plus plus ports. The same price as the switch that we reviewed. So this has got more 2.5 gig ports, but no plus plus ports there. So same amount of PoE power, 400 watts. So we don't have the Etherlighting, and we lose plus plus gain for 2.5 gig ports. And here we have just another version of that switch, just no PoE. So it still has got 8 2.5 gig ports, but no PoE on any of them. So when we combined it all, here is the patch cords that they sell. And if you go back to here, you see on the bottom there, pair with Unifi Etherlighting patch cables for optimum brightness. That's what we were talking about earlier, but we want to have the keystone, we want to have that, or the plug there, we want to have that see-through there, because you can see that these are very see-through in what they have here, and they're not horribly expensive. 15-meter patch cord, which is, gosh, maybe 50 feet, 26 bucks. Can you find it cheaper on Amazon? Absolutely, but I'm sure these are high-quality tested patch cords for that. So looking at all of them together, here is what we have. And I think that the two, I don't know why you would do the Pro 24 PoE, because for just $100 more, you either you get to add 8 2.5 gig ports plus 16, you have 16 PoE++ ports. So you would have 8 more of those. Or if you have to maximize 2.5 gig ports, you don't have the Etherlighting, but the Enterprise 24 PoE has got 12 of the 2.5 gig ports. But then you'll notice here, what do you give up? You give up the PoE++. So for my money, my opinion, unless you have an absolute need for right now more than 8 2.5 gigabit ports, I think the Pro Max is the one to buy. The Etherlighting, put that aside, because one, you get a lot more. I would much rather have the plus plus as opposed to 4 more of the 2.5 gig ports. So between these two, the Pro Max 24 PoE and the Enterprise 24 PoE, I would want the Pro Max, because I get that plus plus on 16 ports. And the Pro PoE, if the budget is that tight, maybe Unifi isn't the right solution for you. There are certainly less expensive solutions out there that we talk about on this channel, from Netgear to Grandstream, but for that extra $100, I think you really get a lot of value with the Pro Max 24. So 1 to 5, I would give the Pro Max 24 a 4. Within the Unifi product line, its product line, I give it a 5. I think that's the go-to switch to buy. But compared to the other switches out there, value, I would do a 4. There are certainly more expensive switches out there, and there are less expensive switches out there. But for what you get, you have that 4 out of 5. If you have any comments or questions, or if you know how to switch between the modes, between network and speed, from the GUI there they have on the switch, please leave that down there in the comments. I would love to be wrong about that. So until we talk again, this is Matt Darnell with ComTel.Cloud. Cloud like up in the sky. Have a great day. Aloha.